Oh my goodness, there goes Frog. The kite's picking him up. Then Toad quick grabs him and pulls him down. And the robins fly over and say, "Gotta hand it to you, Frog and Toad. That kite sure is up there. Even we robins can't fly up that high." Wow, they actually admitted in this one. The book mentioned that they didn't fly as high as the kite in the end. And Toad says to them, "Maybe you need more confidence." Well, that's good. That Toad's not holding any grudges about their discouraging words. He wants to encourage them too. That kite sure is trying to pull Frog up into the air, and Toad's struggling to keep him down. Robin says, "Looks like your kite wants to take both of you for a ride." Doesn't this sound familiar? I'm not going to give it away just yet, but I want you to keep that line in mind until next month when we talk about the Kipper episode, Pig's Cousin. Something really crazy is going to happen in that one. Toad says, "I do not want to fly." And Frog says, "I don't want to fly either." Toad shouts at the kite, "Down, kite, down!" Oh my goodness. They spent the first half of this episode getting the kite up into the air, and now they're going to try to figure out how to get the kite down. Oh boy, this is interesting. Robin says, "Maybe it can't hear you on account of it being up there at the top of the sky." That's a pretty valid point. And Frog and Toad shout together, "Down, kite, down!" Robin says, "We'll help." And there they go. The kite's carrying them off, and robins are following them. And they're all shouting, "Down, kite, down! Down, kite, down!" And as they're floating along, Toad says, "Should we let go?" But Frog says, "But then our kite would fly away, and we worked so hard on it together." Yeah, I feel for you, Frog. When I was little, I would have been very sad if my kite flew away. I used to have a kite. It was a Winnie the Pooh kite we used to fly in the park sometimes. And Toad says, "That is true." That is true is what Frog said multiple times in the Cookie Story, in the book anyway. And so they go back to shouting, "Down, kite, down." Oh, we're going to see all their friends in the process, aren't we? There's Gopher popping up in the hole in the meadow. And she looks up at the kite and says, "Ooh, that's quite a catch you got there, Frog and Toad. Need a hand?" Toad says, "If it's not too much trouble, Gopher." And Gopher says, "Why, it's no trouble at all." "Oh, I think you spoke too soon, Gopher. It looks like you're in trouble now. The kite's carrying all three of them, Frog, Toad, and Gopher. And Gopher's pretty big, too. I'm surprised, that's a really strong kite. But Gopher's enjoying it, says, "This is actually kind of fun, don't you think? Like a stroll through the countryside without the strolling part." But Toad says, "I would prefer my feet on the ground where they belong." I imagine Toad likes having his feet on the ground as much as he likes having his head on his pillow. Then Gopher says, "Well, there's Turtle. Maybe she can help." Yeah, I think Turtle could definitely help, because with that shell, the turtle should be heavy enough to weigh them down. And there's Turtle by the stream, doing something with some pebbles, moving them around with her mouth, and there's a button there, too. I wonder if that's one of the buttons that they found for Toad, but that he didn't want. He did use a lot of them to sew on his jacket, though, and give to Frog. Actually, I don't know if it's a button or a shell. We might have seen a button that had kind of a swirly shell design on it, but it might be a shell. It's the blue one. All right, here they come. Frog says, "Turtle, grab a hold of us and see if you can pull us down." Says, "This kite is not listening." If you tell me that turtle's gonna go up in the air too, I'm gonna freak out. No? Okay. They seem like they're getting down now. It's gonna be all right. And Turtle's helping them. That's good. Oh, no way! No way! Turtle's going too? Ah! This is unreal! This is almost as ridiculous as the Kipper episode, Arnold's Balloon Trip, where they had all those balloons lifting up the bench with Kipper, Tiger, and Pig riding on. And I thought it was crazy enough that one kite is lifting all those characters, all those people. Well, let's see. A frog, a toad, a gopher, and a turtle. I guess if that's... well, no, because that's still a very small kite if it's scaled to be small enough for Frog and Toad to carry. Because if it was a real-sized kite, it would be as big as their yard, or bigger. They'd have to walk on it. But no, they built it at the kitchen table. So to them it's a normal-sized kite, but I was going to say if it's like a human-sized kite and it was carrying all these small animals, then I guess it could work. Like, it wouldn't be as heavy as lifting a normal-sized person, I wouldn't think. But the way the kite is scaled, it's a tiny kite, so that makes it even crazier that it's carrying all these guys. Because I've seen other shows do this too. Like in Curious George, George was flying this kite and it flew him away. But then again, he was pretty small. And, okay, I'm just gonna go right ahead and say it. On Kipper, in the episode Pig's Cousin, which we'll talk about in, 3 weeks, they're at the park and Arnold was flying his kite, and long story short, Arnold flies away flying the kite. And believe it or not, they did this on Teletubbies as well. There was one where the four of them were flying their kites, and then Tinky Winky Dipsy and Lala wanted to go off and do other stuff, and so they handed their kites to Poe, so Poe was holding all four of them, and so she was holding all four kites at once, and then she started flying away with all those kites. I don't know how that would work, having more than one kite like that. I mean, if the wind's blowing them all in the same direction, I guess it could carry you somewhere. And that is a live action show, but of course, that scene was made with green screen effects, so the physics don't really matter with that one. But as we all know, anything can happen in a cartoon, as we can plainly see here. So they're all floating along, and Toad very quietly says, "Frog." "Yes, Toad?" "This kite has a lot of confidence." And there goes the microphone. Sorry about that. Yeah. That kite does have a lot of confidence, and so did whoever wrote this episode. Frog says, "It certainly does." Toad says, "Too much confidence." Okay, now we dissolve to a different part of town. There's the post office. And who all do we have here? There's Mouse. There's Snail inside the post office. There's Mink. I see 2 bugs there. There's the lizard. Oh, there's 3 bugs. Actually, maybe more than 1 mouse there. Have we met the lizard yet? The lizard was originally from the Swim story and also appeared in, what was the one? The Corner. The one where Frog was trying to find Spring around the corner. But I don't remember if we've seen the lizard on Apple TV yet. Maybe he was in the background somewhere and didn't really play a major role yet. So anyway, Mink is saying, "Mercy me, what is this?" Then Frog very casually says, "Hello, Mink, we're flying our kite." And Mink says, "Looks like the kite is flying you." "Yeah, really? Let me give you a hand." Let me guess, Mink's gonna fly with them too. And then he says, "Come on, folks, grab a hold." So I guess everybody's gonna try to help them stay down. There's no way the kite's gonna take them all. Okay, so there's 2 mice and the lizard. Oh wow, Snail's crawling on too. I bet Snail's gonna have the time of his life, or her life, right on the back of Mink there. And so they all hold on tight. And finally, Gopher and Turtle's feet touch the ground. Then they're able to pull everybody down. They cheer, "Yay! All right." And there's Robbins again. And Gopher says, "Now that's what I call teamwork." And Frog says, "Thank you, everyone." And, no! No, 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 no! This is ridiculous! Like I said, I've seen this many times in various kids shows, but this one really takes the cake. I've never seen a kite carry that many characters all at once. I can't believe I'm saying this, but even the Teletubbies episode is more realistic than this. And the Beals are on there too, playing the music.